Hey guys, what's up? We are back here with another video today, and today we are doing everybody's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. You either love them or you hate them, and well, right now I don't know if Dallas Cowboys fans love the team either, because well, they did Dallas Cowboys things in the playoffs and they got absolutely murdered. But it's draft time. It's hope. You got free agency coming up, so obviously the mock drafts are going to change a little bit, but this one is probably going to stir a few of you up. So hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button. If you disagree, dislike the video, but let me know what your comments are down in the comment section down below. The Cowboys was one of my most viewed videos mock draft wise last year. Had a great time, so I love interacting with you guys. And Scotty B, if you are a Dallas Cowboys fan, make sure you hit Scotty B up. I'm sure he'll be in the comment section down below. Go ahead, go to his channel, hit that subscribe button over there as well. So, Cowboys, number 24 overall pick due to your loss against the Packers. I got them selecting, and I get it. I get it. This is probably not going to happen, but I think it's fun, especially this like late January. You're looking at a good period in time, which can kind of be a little bit more different with mock drafts. 24 overall, the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones select Bo Nix, the quarterback out of Oregon. I get that this is very controversial. I get that Dak has a big contract. I get all of this stuff, but hear me out. As a Bears fan, hear me out. One thing that the Bears rival, the Packers, has done very well is be able to sit a quarterback for a year or two, or even more, 3 years. I think for Jordan, yeah, Jordan Love. This is year number 4 for him in the NFL. I think, yeah, year number 4. And you let him develop, you let him sit behind, and I get it. But Bo Nix is a good quarterback. A first-round pick, that's a lot of value. But I just don't see Dak getting you to the promised land. I don't. And I think, to be honest, it has more to do with Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff than I do with Dak. But if you're going to have success, you got to have that elite top-tier quarterback. And I think Bo Nix has the talent to do that. I'm not saying he's that much better than Dak, but at the end of the day, you got to try something different when it's the same old result. Otherwise, it turns into insanity, which is what I think a lot of you Cowboys fans feel like it is, which is just doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's just not working. So I am going to select Bo Nix, number 24 overall. But don't worry, Cowboys fans, at number 56 overall, I do have him addressing the wide receiver position because outside of CeeDee Lamb, number 56 overall, I have Bo Nix's rival in the Jalen Polk, the former Washington Huskies wide receiver. Him and Rono Dunze were fantastic players. And to be honest, I think Polk can probably be an early second-round pick and maybe a little bit better than that. It kind of depends on where you're at. I think he has some qualities that could land him in the even late first round. I could see him going that way. Kind of depends. But I think that you need to address this position. I think that it's important. And I think that adding to it, wide receivers, they take a little bit of time to develop generally, as you can tell by CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been great. But some time take to develop, especially if you're drafting anything after the first round, really after the first, unless there's an elite wide receiver like this year, you have 3 possible elite number 1 wide receivers: Neighbors, Odunze, and Harrison, obviously. Harrison, I think, is the safest of the 3, but all 3 of them are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I would take any of them as a Bears fan, but I think Polk is not equally as good, but equally a good player. Number 87 overall, I have them selecting Mason Smith, the defensive lineman out of LSU. I think that this is a player that, just simply put, he's going to be able to fill some gaps for you when it comes to that defensive line, be able to replace some not aging player. Well, they're aging, but some players that may need to have some replacement, and to be able to add depth. If you can add depth in the 3rd round, that's a successful 3rd round draft pick. You would like them to be a starter eventually, but I'd like to look at like a Gervon Dexter for the Bears. Obviously, he was the 2nd round pick. This is a 3rd round pick. But a Gervon Dexter, he really came on in the second half when he's been a role player all season long. Like, this is it's going to take some time. It's not going to be immediate with Smith. You're going to need some time, but if you're not needing it essentially now, and he can be a little bit more of a role player, at least for a little bit, I think that helps him ease into that process. Year 2, year 3, I think he can really shoot up and play well. Then at number 172, and I really wanted to address this earlier, but there really wasn't a great spot to address this need other than in the first round with Bo Nix. I didn't think that there was like any guys that I was like, about, but number 172, I'm going to draft Christian Jones, the offensive tackle out of Texas. I would like to add a tackle. If you're Dallas, and I think most Cowboys fans would probably agree with me, adding a tackle, if not even just them being a swing tackle, that can be helpful when it comes to that. So definitely adding that is important and I think helpful. And with Christian Jones, you're looking at a player that I don't know if he'll be a starter. He played well at Texas, don't get me wrong. But starter, But swing tackle, yeah, I think he can be. And I think that being able to develop that is definitely a possibility when it comes to this team. So at number 212, last couple draft picks here. 212, you got running back Frank Gore. And to be honest, I was really close to picking Audric Estime with that 87th overall pick. But don't get me wrong, I knew I would have gotten roasted for that. But don't get me, I also think this. I think drafting a running back in the later rounds pretty much every year, if not every other year, is a good idea. Because there's a lot of good running backs in those late rounds, as the Niners can tell you, as the Bears can tell you, as the Dolphins can tell you. These teams have drafted late round running backs and have had great success with guys like that. So I think you continue on that trend. You draft Frank Gore Jr., obviously dad, Hall of Famer, great player. But when it comes to Frank Gore, he doesn't have the same skill set. He isn't as good as his dad, but he's a good player. And I think that the Deuce Vaughn pick, even though it's a great story, I like it. I don't know if he's going to hold up in the NFL. I think that he still has some things that he needs to work on. And I think the Frank Gore pick just makes a little more sense to be able to fill into that backup in eventually starting role if you are the Dallas Cowboys. Then with the next pick, number 230 overall, I have Jalen Hunt, the edge out of Houston Baptist, and I will be frank here. I have not watched much of his tape, / I haven't really watched any of it, but the skill set that he brings as an edge rusher is his RAS score is going to be fantastic. And if you don't know what RAS is, it's relative athletic score. The higher you get, it's on a 1 to 10 scale. The higher you get, the more raw athleticism that you have. I really like to call it the raw athleticism score because that's what I think it is. Because you got to refine that athleticism. That's where the refined athleticism you'll find in the first round draft picks, the second round draft picks. It's the raw athleticism that you like to see in these later rounds where you can develop that athleticism, and I think that's what you can do with Jalen Hunt, who has the characteristics, who has the talent, and who has somewhat had the production, but definitely has some work to do. And then at number 241, it's kind of best player available, and I thought Julian Pearl, the offensive tackle out of Illinois, was preseason All Big Ten first team. Didn't have as great of a season, but I think has some potential, and really was more best player available this late in the draft, so I went Julian Pearl there. So thanks all for watching. Hit the 2 videos down below and a subscribe button up here, and as always, have a great day. Bye, guys.